All right, so we're gonna go through this pile of questionable tweezers that we make at Garnet Lash Studios. Basically what happens is during lash appointments, we have a designated spot for tweezers that maybe aren't performing as expected or have been dropped. For example, many of you might have seen tweezers that look like, where was that really bad one?
Right here.
Ah, there it is. Look at that. I don't know if you can see how bad that bend is, but we've all seen some pretty bent tweezers. Anyway, all right, believe me when I say they're bent. Basically, what I love about using two precision straight tweezers is that it's easy to straighten them out on each other. So what I recommend doing is taking two tweezers and having them point away from you, using your thumbs towards the tips so that you can use a lot of force. You're gonna take one tweezer and you're gonna kind of squeeze it on the tip to make sure to apply enough pressure to straighten it out. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of approaching it at different angles. I'm putting the tweezer together and I'm squeezing them together, and then I'm taking each side of it and I'm smashing it flat in between this thicker part of the other tweezer. This works really well when you have little minor bends at the tips, and it can make your tweezers, take your tweezers from non-functional to fully functional. After I'm done straightening out the tips, what I often do is I will put them together to see how the tip is coming together. If one side, I know it's kind of blurry, I'm gonna try to focus it here. If one side is longer than the other, and that can happen from multiple bends and it just kind of chips at the tip, those tweezers might be time to throw away, they might be trash. But if they do line up at the same point at the very end after you straighten out the tips, these tweezers can work perfectly again. And sometimes what you want to do, if the bend is going outwards, you can take the tweezer and kind of straighten it, kind of an inwards motion to kind of bring the tweezer tip back in towards itself. But this is a really good way to kind of just ensure that your tweezers are performing. Also, this is something that you want to do during your appointments. If you get any adhesive buildup on the inside of the tips of your tweezers, you kind of do the same thing. Turn them away from yourself because you want to use your thumbs, and you're going to scrape that adhesive off. If you have any adhesive buildup, you'll notice that sometimes lashes stick, there's static in the appointment, or the extensions don't want to come off of your tweezer. That's usually because there's some adhesive buildup. So I would highly recommend kind of doing this maintenance through all of your tweezers once in a while, tossing the ones that don't work anymore and replacing them with new ones. And I always suggest having a backup. So just in case you have tweezers that aren't working, you always have more to go to.